Welcome to another Trackmania Turbo Trackmaster tutorial. Today we're back to the car that I like the best because it's the slowest one. And in particular, we are at 52. As y'all can probably already tell, with these being the harder sections than they were previously, this isn't going to be in a row like it was previously featuring this car. But nonetheless, there were a few of these that was good enough at to get Trackmaster, so let's get right into it. This is 52, and this one was actually the easiest of the 50s, at least for me. Again, I like this car because it's slow, but this particular track in general is sort of easy. Sort of. To begin with, it actually is easy. It doesn't look all that easy because there's like gaps to get and there's jumps and stuff, but as long as you don't do any steering, just full throttle, you're good. Just don't worry about any of that stuff. It's all just aesthetic as long as you don't move. You can attempt to try to go wider angle into this turn, but honestly you kind of don't want much angle into the turn because you want to take as wide of a line out as possible without losing control. This though is kind of a gray area because, as I said sort of near the beginning of doing these tutorials, different terrains cause randomness, and this is a different terrain. That's grass, that's dirt. Preferably you want to stay in the dirt, but you also want to go as wide as possible, so there's a bit of a gray area there that's just practice. And as y'all can see there, that's my previous Ghost, which is ahead right now, but y'all see in a minute that overall it's perfect to go ahead and go wide. Even though at this point you may be behind a Ghost. Also for the next turn, where you went wider into the previous turn, you go wider by default to this turn, which is also a good thing because, wait for it folks, as long as you go wide there, start out wide, go in without hitting the apex there, you can go as in as possible. The grass doesn't matter too much there, just because you're not on it very much. If you do that wide for both turns and get close to the final apex, but not the first turn's apex, then you'll have a whole heck of a heap more momentum. As y'all can see there, is even behind it, that split. Right there. But by the time that split even sews up, I'm at least a car length ahead, and by the time I land, I'm probably about 3 car lengths ahead. Going to this split, I'm, just by carrying more momentum, an entire tenth of a second ahead. Tenth of a second is a whole heck of a heap for these sort of trials. Also, I paused it right at that timer because that's your braking point. The best times in the world actually don't brake for this turn, but I have no idea how to do that. I assume it was steering wheel, but I have to brake for this turn, and either way it's Trackmaster. As y'all can see there, I already got it even before this point, so not that big of a deal braking. Either way you do it though, if somehow you can get it no braking or with braking, you want to go to the outside there and then carry your way to the inside. Again, I went to the outside there, so the Ghost is ahead even after being that far ahead of the Ghost previously. But, again, I carried more momentum, so I ended up back ahead yet again. In theory, there's still a bit of time there just because I was that much ahead to begin with. But in reality, the more speed you carry into the turn that requires braking, the earlier you have to brake. So I doubt there's too much more to get, not as much as feasibly some before of how far I was ahead of a Ghost at one point. But there may be a bit more there, but either way, it's Trackmaster, so I'm not going to complain. And I can't really complain about the rankings either, because even though I ain't first in Kentucky, for Jiminy Cricket sakes, I'm almost top 25 in America, and I am top 1,000 in the world. So I ain't gonna complain being top 1,000 in the world out of over 200,000. That's pretty good right yonder. So I hope y'all enjoyed this one, learned something from it. And really the main thing, other than just going wide through the first bit that you need to know, is just start braking at that final checkpoint, and then you're pretty much good. This one's hard in terms of, it's different terrains, but really about the first time you get through those without losing much speed or skidding, you're pretty much good as long as you do what I said before. Go wide through the first bit and then brake right at the final timer. If you do that, you should get Trackmaster by a decent margin. As y'all saw there, I got it previously, and I improved on it there. So I hope you all enjoyed this, learned something from it, and as always, yeehaw!